So I go through my news feed this morning, and I go into the BBC's YouTube channel because there's a problem with watching BBC News in the morning, which is that it's the same few stories just repeated over and over again. I get it; every news channel does it. But then you have BBC News, that's 24/7. That do the exact same thing. So you'd think by going to an outlet like BBC's YouTube page that there'd be a difference, that their main story, their predominant attraction would be something really important. Instead, it's the Queen's advice on how to wear a crown. I'm pretty sure that most Britons, most people in the UK, have never, ever had to worry about how to wear a bloody crown. There are actual problems in the UK, and the media seems to be focused on the correct way of cutting different types of cheeses and how to wear a crown. I'm not a royalist. I never have been. I don't see why people idolise the royal family the way that they do, but I understand that they have some kind of tourist attraction. Taxpayers have paid over £1 billion to refurbish one of their houses. Over £1 billion. When the Queen can take the money that we give her, send it offshore, and make £1 million in interest. The fact that we as taxpayers have to pay to repair her house is obscene. But that's not focused on. The outrage to that isn't focused on because she's telling us how she wears a crown. There are problems globally that need to be focused on. North Korea and South Korea finally sat down for peace talks. There's been a tension going on for years, and they finally sit down. The first important step of resolving this issue. And that muppet has to stir the pot because everyone in the world's not talking about how much of a... And then you have everything else that the American president does. His overly racist views on everything. His unwillingness to learn anything. The constant fact that he has to compare himself to Obama at every second, at every day, and pretend he's better. Obama had a lot of issues, and there's a lot of faults I can pick with him, but any day of the week, Obama is better than Trump. Other global issues we have. Russia seems to have had an influence in every single bloody election. There's stories coming out that Russia has ties to the UK's elections. We know that they have ties to the American elections, buying Facebook ads and things like that. But that doesn't seem to be covered. We know that they have deals personally with the Trump family because the Trump children admitted it. But that doesn't get covered. Looking locally, we have a growing hate speech problem in this country. Now, I'm all for free speech, even though the UK's laws on free speech are somewhat draconian. But it must be illustrated that there is a hate speech growing and where this is coming from. The mayor of London essentially got called out by a load of Trump supporters because he dared say the actual truth, that Trump is a child and isn't coming to the UK because he can't stand the idea that people despise him. The UK government, Theresa government's reshuffling, is going to destroy hundreds, thousands, if not millions of families in the UK. McVeigh's last stint running the DWP put 400,000 children into poverty, and yet she's back doing that exact same job. Jeremy Hunt has been dissecting and destroying the NHS for years, and now he's in charge of social care as well. Social care which looks after not only our most vulnerable people in society, but our World War II veterans. People who have lived and served this country their whole bloody lives, and now Jeremy Hunt is in charge of them. The fact that the Conservative Party is now full of revolting human beings who want to take money from people, from poor, struggling families, and give it to rich corporations, not even... This is the problem with media, particularly with mainstream media. They give you a little tidbit of something that's vaguely important, and then they distract you with how to wear a crown properly. Never mind that a struggling family with two parents who work 2 full-time jobs have to rely on food banks. Never mind that the disabled are getting screwed over every single day. Never mind that there are now more homeless people than before the Conservatives took charge. Never mind that we are such in a bad state with the rest of the world that no country has actually confirmed a deal with us when we leave the EU. Or even focusing on the EU, the fact that a number of countries are now thinking of leaving the European Union because they have to pay more. I voted to stay in the EU, but I understand that it needs to be completely reformed. And to be honest, if we had a different Conservative government, if we had a different government that wasn't Conservative, I probably would have voted to leave. I would have had more faith in these ministers. But we don't. And instead of media doing their job and showing you the facts, showing you things that you should be outraged at, here's how to wear a crown. Because that's really fucking important.